Tay,
co-host AK.
and today on the episode of From Trials to Testimonies, we'll be talking about our experience, our college experience, and how it shaped our faith today.
I'll be reading a scripture, 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 6 through 7. So be truly glad, there is wonderful joy ahead, even though you must endure many trials for a little while. These trials will show that your faith is genuine. It is being tested as fire tests and purifies gold. Though your faith is far more precious than mere gold, so when your faith remains strong, through many trials, it will bring you much praise and glory and honor on the day when Jesus Christ is revealed to the whole world.
Whew, I feel that scripture every time
Whew.
I read it.
So now it's a tongue twister.
So we gonna, as we always will, we gonna start with prayer, so that God can guide us through this episode, and we can get out what we need to get out, and He can speak through us and let His light shine through us. That being said, AK is going to pray us in. She nervous out of my ear. She got it. You got
I don't
this.
pray a lot. I pray in my head between me and God. So that's all it is.
You got this. You got this.
Let me fix my microphone. Sorry, y'all. It's been a day. Let's talk about
It's been a
day, y'all.
It's been a week.
It's been a very long week. It's about 9:30 p.m. right now.
Yeah.
We're a bit tired, but we're going to ask God for a little bit of energy. So we got y'all.
Yeah.
Dear God, I pray that you give us the strength and energy and discernment to continue to have these episodes. And please allow that your words and your light shine right through us. Please allow this episode to find whoever it needs to find so that it may strengthen them and increase their discernment, increase their love in order to find you. Please continue to allow us to walk in your faith, walk in your light, and just continue to spread love and spread your word throughout this episode, as well as walking in your testimony. Thank you, Lord, and just keep on continuing to give us strength and allow us to find the words to reach people in this episode, Lord. Thank you, God, and amen.
Amen.
Whew.
She was nervous, y'all.
I don't pray out loud all the time.
That was still good. At the end of the day, God listens to you no matter how you say it. So, God got us at the end of the day. And He gonna give us the strength and energy and everything else. And when I talk about God, I get energetic anyway.
Always.
So
it's just starting.
We just getting it rolling. We both been having a long week, so this actually the highlight. We love this part of our week. This be the part where we get the peace, we get the joy we need, we get to unwind, we get to talk about our Lord. And so today, we actually a little more organized. We getting the hang of this thing right here. So we got some questions that we're gonna answer around the subject that we told you about. With our college experiences and how it shaped our relationship with God. So the first question is, what does it take to be a college athlete, and what sacrifices do you have to make? So AK started out. Go ahead and.
I would say to be a college athlete, you need to be disciplined. You take sacrifices, like we already said. It just takes a little bit of grit. It takes consistency, and it also takes you have to be coachable. Being coachable is one thing that people don't really think about. Being coachable is not just through sports. Being coachable is being coached through life. Like, you have to be able to have someone tell you something, and you're able to not exactly do what they say, but at least be receptive. Like, you got to be able to be receptive to what someone's telling you, because if you're not receptive and you go to college, you have a college coach, they ain't gonna care about none of that crying, I got a headache, whatever. Like, you gonna get yelled at. You gonna get yelled at, you gonna get cussed out, you gonna get... I ain't gonna say too much. I ain't gonna say too much, but you have to be coachable. You have to be consistent. You gotta get up and get to the gym. You have to get up and try to be the best person that you can be. Not just on the court, but in school too. In school, school's daily life, school's a student athlete. You don't understand that. It ain't athlete student. Coach, that's one thing my coach always said. You're not an athlete student, you're a student athlete. You got a class, you got something to do, because if you have bad grades, how you gonna get into this college that you want to go to the hoop? Like, if you were eligible, how you gonna have 30 a game and win a championship? Like, it goes hand in hand. And what a lot of these student athletes don't understand is it takes sacrifices. Like me, I missed out on a lot of prom. I missed out on prom. I missed out on homecomings. I missed out on sleepovers. I missed out on hanging out with friends. I missed out on a lot of stuff because I got to get into the gym. You know what I'm saying? So sacrifice means you have to give up on certain things, but it also means that things you give up on, it brings people to you that is on your same journey. So like, yes, I gave up on sleepovers and going to parties and all those things, but now the friends that I have, we have the same mission. We both got a game. I'm not somewhere where I got a game and you don't got nothing to do sleeping in tomorrow. No, we both got to go to bed. We both got to get up and eat breakfast, and we both have to go play in this game tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? So sacrifices are meant to be successful. Not just in sports. You need that to be successful in every single thing you want to do in life. Like you have to make sacrifices. You have to give up something. Like greatness does not. You have to be disciplined. Greatness does not. You don't just wake up and be great. Like you have to give up something. You have to give up something.
These new kids think that's what they ain't gonna do.
Like,
no.
I
just wake up. I'm gonna be great tomorrow.
No, I'm gonna go to the NBA. You ain't working like you want to go into the NBA. Look at some of these NBA player stories and things they had to do. Kobe worked out 3 times a day.
Yeah.
3 times a day. He got 2 workouts in before you probably got off the bed. Like you got it takes sacrifices, and people do not understand that. Then it takes consistency. You can't just sacrifice for a week and think this outcome is gonna happen. Like you have to be consistent. And consistency is hard because it might mean that I'm consistent, but being consistent, you might be consistent for months and see no progress. I think you talked about that a little bit in the last episode. It's like you were consistent, you were getting in the gym, you were doing what you had to do, but you weren't seeing the outcome of it. You know what I'm saying? But did you give up? Did you quit?
And eventually the outcome came.
It just comes.
Sometimes I think it's, and not to interrupt you, but sometimes I think it's because we want it to happen when we want it to happen.
Right.
And we want it to happen fast.
Right.
It's just like how people, right now, a lot of kids don't even play sports because fast is the thing right now. So they want fast money. They want fast
success,
popularity. They want fast success, and things don't happen fast. Good things come with waiting, right? You know what I'm saying? So you gotta have patience for good things to happen, and even when things happen fast for you, 9 times out of 10 it won't last anyway.
Right.
So it's just as quick as you got it, that's as quick as you will lose it. So I feel like it does take consistency, and with consistency you have to be patient.
Yes.
Like you have to have patience.
Yes.
Because it's going to come. That just because it's not coming as fast as you want, don't mean you stop putting in the work. Don't mean you stop. It don't mean you're not progressing, because your time gonna come. Everybody's time is different. Your time to shine
like everybody else is gonna come.
Yeah, it's not. But continue what you're saying.
No, you're good. I think sacrifice was the hardest thing to learn. Sacrifice and patience. I think patience was the hardest thing for me to learn when it came to being successful, because it's like you said, you're putting this work in, you're doing all this, and then you get into the game, and sometimes the game don't go how you think it's gonna go. Like have you ever had a time where you warmed up for a game and you make every single shot, you think you're feeling yourself, then the game happens, you don't make a shot? Yeah. You don't make a single shot
at all.
You miss every layup, every move you done did. It's like, but that makes you want to give up, because I just put all this work in and nothing showed for it. Like, what is up with that? But a great person is going to get back in the lab, you're going to watch film, you're going to see what I did wrong, and you're going to get better. You're not going to quit and cry. And also, what I see a lot with this generation is they complain a lot. They complain and they cry and they're upset when someone tells them something. If you can't be coachable and have someone tell you your flaws, you're not going to make it to the next level. And if you're not an athlete, because coachable, like I said, goes to every aspect. So if you can't be told that you're doing something wrong and fix it with a positive attitude, you're not going to be successful in life
at all.
Because as a kid, it's certain things at 16 I thought I knew, but then I became 18 and it's different. Now I'm 22 and I'm different. Now I'm 26, about to be 27. It's like, oh, I was wrong. I was wrong. But if I wasn't coachable, I would have still been acting like 16-year-old AK, and that's not. You're supposed to grow. You're supposed to progress. So if you're not coachable, how are you going to go to the next level and be successful? Then if you're not coachable, how are you going to listen to what God has to tell you to do and be receptive? If I wasn't coachable in high school, I wouldn't be able to be coachable now when God tells me, like, no, you can't do that. And that's something hard to learn.
God is our head coach through life.
He's our head coach through life. If you don't listen to him, you're not receptive to him. Hey, because I've been in a season where I tried to ignore God, and I tried to not do what God tells me. And let me tell you something.
And he gonna get your attention one way or another.
He gonna sit you down.
Like it or not.
He gonna sit you down. He gonna sit you down, and he gonna sit you down for longer than you even intended. I've been sat down so many times. It's to the point where now, if God tell me no, hey, you got it. You got it. Like, I don't even want to fight with you. I don't even want to. But it goes back to like parenting, being coachable, being receptive. That's all things to be successful, because you don't know everything. I don't care if you want to be a rapper. I don't care if you want to be a singer. I don't care if you want to be an athlete, a doctor, a lawyer. If you want to be successful in this world, you have to learn how to be receptive.
You have to learn how to listen to constructive criticism.
Yes.
You also have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Right.
Because I think that's what a lot of people, that's why they're not receptive of constructive criticism, because it makes you uncomfortable.
Right.
It does. Like, even as adults, when another person tells us, like, you ain't doing this right, or that's not how you do it, you be side-eyeing, like, what you mean?
How you know?
Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's tough, like, being wrong.
Yes.
Like, and I struggle with that a lot. Like, I was real prideful, which is also a saying. Like, I was real prideful about being wrong. I hate being wrong, and I still struggle with it here and there. But I think that when you are too comfortable with what you're doing, it's hard for you to accept when you're getting told, like, this is not the right way.
Yes.
Because you've been doing it for so long, and you're comfortable in it, and it take you being uncomfortable to be able to do it another way.
Yes.
And what I also learned is, just because you think your way is the right way doesn't mean it's another one, because just because your way is the way you about to do something and you feel like you're going to get, this is what the outcome will be if we do it like this, there can also be another way to do it and get the same outcome.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes, right, so sometimes what you have, what you think is right, it could be right, but another person could be right too. So you should try your way and another way, because it could be better for you. It could be a better outcome. So you have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable in order to succeed as a college athlete, in order to get there. I think that's another thing you have to have. Is that all you have, or you have?
It's also like, I like the point you just brought up about perspective. Like, just because I'm right don't mean you wrong. And I think a lot of times people, not even just being an athlete, people just think like, if we're in a disagreement or we don't see eye to eye, that if I'm right, you gotta be wrong. It's not always that. Like, if we got a 6 right here sitting down, and for me it's 6, for you it's more like 9.
Yeah.
Are you wrong? No. Am I wrong? No. But perspective is important. Like, if I don't know how to sit down and look at your perspective, you're not going to be successful in life. At the end of the day, I just think that it's important to be coachable in all aspects of life. Being an athlete, having a job, getting connected with God, because the fact that I was able to be so coachable as a kid is the reason why now, when I am with God, that I'm just able to just listen to Him, understand. Like, I might not understand what He's saying, I might not like what He's saying, I might not agree with what He's saying, but at the end of the day, what I'm gonna say?
He knows what's right.
He knows what's
good for you.
He knows what's good for you.
Like, like I said, he the head coach of our lives. Like, he gonna be the head coach of our lives, and that's why I'm saying, like, I'm happy we got this podcast, because it ties into that. It helps athletes understand the position that God takes in your life. It's just like when you have a coach. And as far as perspective, it's just like when we're watching film, right? So when your coach take you to watch film, like, in the game, you think you know what you're doing, and we telling you, like, no, you wasn't in the right place. You missed your defensive assignment. You missed your offensive assignment. You didn't run the play right.
I like that.
You know what I'm saying? And like, you didn't run your play right. And in game time, you're like, oh no, I was there. I did do this. And like, me, even as a coach now, I deal with it with my players, and they constantly like, oh, I did do this, oh, I did do that. And then, they watch film, they're like, okay, yeah, he was right. It's just like with God, like, sometimes he tell us, and we not listening, we not receptive, and then he have to show us. Like, he got to show us, and God will show you something real fast, you know what I'm saying? And I think that that's important. Like, the points that the things that you pointed out as far as what you need to be successful as a college athlete and what it takes to get there, the sacrifices you got to make. I think you had some good points. You said time, you got to sacrifice time, you got to sacrifice fun, you got to be coachable, you have to be committed, you have to be consistent. I think all of those things are important. I think the other thing is you have to be okay with being different.
For sure. Like,
you have to be okay with being different, because there's going to be people who think you're crazy. Like, girl, we about to go. Like, you've been in the gym all week. You know, we've been to high school, we've been to college, and you got some people who, like, bro, we can go out. You can get up and practice still. They constantly trying to tell you, and I think that it's important because, like, you can get distracted. You have to be able to, like, tune out distractions. And you have to be okay with being different. What I mean by different is some of the points you hit on. Like, sometimes they gonna be at a party, you gotta be in the gym. You gotta be in the gym when they sleep. And when you get to college, in high school, most of the time when you get offered a scholarship to go to college, right? It's 9 times out of 10 because you was the best player on the team, right? And you go JUCO, sometimes you're one of the best, right? But when you get to college, you have to figure out how to be the best of the best, right? And in order to be the best of the best, you have to do 10 times the work that everybody else is doing. So yeah, this person got shots up at their game or they showed up early. You gotta get shots up twice before the game.
Especially
you gotta,
as a freshman.
You gotta practice. You gotta be willing to hit the weight room on game day. You gotta be willing to hit you gotta be willing to sacrifice your body. You gotta be willing to sacrifice your time. You gotta be willing to sacrifice fun. Like you're gonna miss out on some stuff, but all of it will pay off. And I feel like right now a lot of kids they have talent without work ethic. You know what I'm saying? And you have to be able to put in work.
Right.
Because sometimes the best athlete is not even the one with all the skill or the talent. It's the one who work harder than everybody. Because when you get to college, coaches don't care if you can do a Euro step and finish. They don't care if you can do a spin move and knock down a three. They don't care if you can shoot like Steph Curry. They don't care if you can dunk like LeBron. They don't care about none of that stuff. They care about how hard you work. They care about who gonna dive on the floor to get this ball. Who gonna get the rebound when the clock ticking down and we down one. Who gonna box out when it's a free throw and the other team already up two and they just missed the one? Are you gonna get the rebound?
Right.
Who gonna do the hustle plays? Who gonna show up to practice early? Who gonna push their teammates? Who gonna be a good teammate? Who gonna be the person who having a bad game and still telling their teammates like, come on, we got this? You know what I'm saying? Who gonna be the person that ain't made a shot all game, but the coach run a play for you at the end and you telling yourself you can hit the shot? That's what they looking for, and that's what God looking for. You might not be the best. His disciples wasn't the best people.
No.
They weren't.
At all.
They all had issues.
Yeah.
They all fell short of his glory in some way, some shape or form, but he still chose them.
Right.
So you could be chosen and not be the best. But if
that's
you
most
work
of the time, the
harder
chosen
than
ones
yes,
aren't the best.
you work harder than those who consider the best, then guess what? That's when you become the best of the best. When you put in more work than them, when you feel like they got more skill and talent than me, but they will never outwork me. And I think that's what coaches are looking for, and that's what God looking for. Who gonna have faith even when everything around them don't look good, even when everything around them is chaotic. And that's why I say God is our head coach. And also like all those things tie into what you need to be a successful athlete. And the thing that I know I didn't have when I was a college athlete is God. That's the number one key to being successful in college, what I will throw in there, because in order to be successful in anything, you have to have some type of substance. And I think it's okay, for people who have different religions and stuff like that. I won't judge them or, throw stones at them or whatever the case may be. But what I will say is there's one true God. And our Heavenly Father will guide you through everything, every hardship, even the good times. He going to be able to give you all the discernment, all the wisdom, all the energy, all the strength, everything that you need to get through your career, to get through the things you're going to face in college, the things that, you're going to struggle with on and off the court. He's going to be able to get you through that. And outside of that, even like what you touched on, like being a student athlete, even with being a student athlete, in order to be successful in college, you have to be willing to study. You have to be willing to do your homework, because I say this because I was one of them. I turned my papers in at 11:59. They do at 11:59. I'd be quick to be like, oh, it's 11:58. Let me hurry up. You know what I'm saying? It's 11 o'clock. I got to hurry up and finish typing it. But you have to be willing to push things aside to get the important things done first. Because fun will always be there. It's going to always be there. Your friends, if they're your real friends, they're going to be there too. Your relationship, if it's a real relationship, it's going to be there. You have to be willing to put the important things first. It's God, school, then show sport. And then everything else is supposed to come after that. And the people around you if they're good people, if they're for you, they're supposed to be willing to understand that. So if you're in a relationship and they can't understand, it's 5 in the morning, I gotta get to the gym at 5 in the morning, so I can't lay up with you. I got a game tomorrow, we're not having sex tonight. I need my legs, I need my energy. You know what I'm saying? If they don't understand all those things, then they're not for you anyway. And you have to be willing to stay focused. I think that's another thing. You have to stay focused, but we're gonna wrap that up. We're gonna get to the next question once I figure. Okay, I had to find my phone. How did you handle the stress of being a college athlete, and how did God cover you throughout your career?
I will be honest and say that I did not handle the stress of being a college athlete very well. I did not handle it in a godly manner. I did not handle it in a way that I am proud of.
Okay,
I will say that I'm not gonna lie, I drank a lot in college.
Yeah.
I did a lot of drinking
Literally.
on the weekends, because just like the stress of like going through being a college athlete every single day, it was so stressful that on the weekends I'm like, I have to forget. I have to forget. I can't keep that trauma and bring that trauma home to me and where I lay my head. So I'm not gonna lie, I drank, if not every weekend, every other weekend. And I don't mean just like sipping, I mean like I got.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of other college kids in general.
Yeah, like I just didn't know how to cope. I didn't know how to I didn't know what was wrong with me actually. Like I knew I was stressed. I knew that I had a lot on my plate, but I didn't know how to manage it because everyone I was around was going through the same thing. So yes, I was stressed, but I was around teammates who were doing the same thing as me and they didn't look stressed. So I'm like, if they don't look stressed, I'm not supposed to be stressed. So I would kind of hide my stress and kind of bottle it up. But of course, me and you both know bottling up stuff does not help. And as well as like taking on things that has happened when I was in high school, by the time I got to college, by the time I was 18, 19, 20, I have so much stuff on my plate. I'm just like, I can't handle all this. But when you're chosen, you act a little different. You're not allowed to do what everybody else does. So I can't be depressed. I can't go to the locker room and have a frown on my face and not engage with people. I was the type of person that when I walked into the locker room, it was like AK always had a smile on her face. AK was always good. AK was always happy. AK was a leader. AK was never stressed. So people held me to a high standard. So I wasn't allowed to. I don't want to say I wasn't allowed because I feel like if I did, my teammates understand. Right. But my teammates were going through stuff, and I was always just that person that would pick people up with everybody else. You know what I'm saying? And I had some people that would give that back, but not in the way that I would burden myself with those problems. Like I would burden myself with the problems of my teammates, problems with my coaches, family problems, sibling problems, parent problems, cousin problems, friend problems, any problems I would burden myself. So when I found out that me helping other people helped me distract from myself, and it worked for a long portion of my life, but eventually, it's like everybody comes to you for advice or when they have an issue. So you don't want to be the person add to what they got going on. I always had this thing about me where I didn't want to feel like a burden to other people. So I wouldn't really talk about the issues I had, and when I did, it felt forced. I had to tell you because you asked me. Basically. But that's heavy. But it's also I didn't tell people because what can you do to help me? Right. If I tell you what I'm going through, what you gonna do about it? I'm just going. Now I feel embarrassed. My problems.
And we didn't have a relationship with God that we have now, so we didn't know to go to Him.
Yeah, I always knew how to pray. I always knew to ask God, but I didn't know how to ask God every time something went wrong with my life. It's when I would pray in the mornings before I ate, before I went to bed. I thought that was normal. I would say the same prayer every single day. I would say the same things. I didn't really pray to ask God for strength. I didn't really pray to ask God for guidance or for discernment, and I didn't know what discernment was at that time. But now I'm a little more wise, and I'm able to know what discernment is. And so at that time, I was just kind of not walking through God. I knew He was there. I knew He was with me, but I wasn't God-fearing. I wasn't doing things that I needed to do to be in His glory, and it kept me very separated from Him because I didn't know how to talk to Him. And then you feel unworthy. You feel like I'm still stuck in sin.
I just was drunk last night.
You know what I'm saying?
I was just wake up to ask you for something.
I was just drunk. I was just with a dude that's not my boyfriend. I was just out here doing something stupid. How do I feel like I can go to you and ask for something and I'm not even doing what you're telling me to do? But I can't tell people that because people look at me and they have this perception of AK is perfect. I don't know where that perception came from when people know me. It doesn't make sense though. It never made sense. Even it started from my parents. I always was perceived as being this perfect child, as being AK that doesn't make mistakes, AK that's always happy, AK that's always never has any problems. And eventually, I just kind of fit into that box of you have no issues. So when I got older and I started to realize I actually have problems, I didn't know how to handle them because I never was allowed to have issues. If I had a problem, I had to kind of just sweep it under the rug because I have little siblings I gotta take care of. I got little cousins I gotta take care of. I was not able to sit there and dwell on my problems because I got to help 15, 20 other people with their problems. So I can't solve what I got going on. So I would say during college, I did not handle my issues well. I would say I masked very well. I was a very good masker. I can literally, I used to literally sit in the car.
Put a mask.
I knew how to put a smile on my face. Okay, and when they say fake it till you make it, that is real. Because waking up in the mornings, I used to not want to go to practice. I didn't want to go to class. I didn't want to go work out. But when I walked into the locker room, you would never tell that I was just in my room crying before a cup of beer. I was just in therapy, expressing everything that's going on. Literally telling my therapist, I don't want to be alive today.
You had a therapist in college?
Oh yeah, I was forced to go to therapy.
That's tough.
I was forced to go to therapy because I had so much stuff going on, and everybody knows I'm not a mean person.
Yeah.
I'm not a mean person, but I went through this phase of college where I was mean. And people don't believe it. Like, they can't know. I was mean.
I believe it. I had one too.
I was mean. I was complaining about everything. I would be in practice like, oh, she's not doing a good job. Like, just being a hater. Like, just fighting. It needs to be mad at being a hater. And me and my coach in college, we have, I wouldn't say the best relationship, but I've learned a lot of things from her. And one thing that I do to this day appreciate is the fact that she made me go to therapy. Like, her and my other few coaches that I had called me into the office, and they're just like, what's wrong with you? I broke down crying. I was pissed.
It's a lot wrong.
It's a lot. But that's the first time I would say someone has actually sit there and asked me, like, what's wrong? Because I had a lot going on. I had a lot of stuff going on. That's
actually, like, even though you endured all that, I think it's dope that you had coaches who noticed that you were going through something and tried to get you help. And I can definitely agree with you on how you handle stress, because literally, like, when we even discussed these questions, I already like had wrote that down because the way I handle stress is I coped with like weed and drinking. Like, I really didn't know what to talk about, how to talk about it.
And you don't even know what's the problem. You don't even know that what you go through.
I just knew I was hurting. I knew I was frustrated with life, and like throughout high school, I wasn't really like a heavy drinker or smoker. I wasn't really introduced to that early. I think I probably jumped maybe twice, like at some kickbacks or something. But it wasn't something I craved or whatever. But when I got to college, you're not around all those people. You're not around coaches who like know you personally, you know your family, you know what you're going through. Like, in high school, I had coaches who was on me all the time. Like, my coaches is like my parents, so they didn't allow me to do all that stuff. Like, you better not be out here doing this. You better not be out here doing that. And like, when you really respect the people in your life, you listen. So you're like, all right, I ain't gonna be out here doing that. But when I got to college, like, I coped through smoking. Like, if I was mad, sad, like, I'm on my own. I ain't had nobody tell me no or not to do this or whatever. And you know, I can't say like I've been pretty much independent like most of my life and doing things on my own. I was one of those kids who like my parents ain't paid much attention because they felt like I had it together. So they didn't really like, they wasn't on me about everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, when my report cards, you know, back in the day, we didn't get them on the internet. Like, they used to send them to the mail, and my mom never opened mine. She just would hand them to me, and I would be like,
the first one to open,
like,
you press
why you open it? Oh, I know it's good, but like, I wanted them to open it. I wanted them to be proud of me, and I think that like once I got to an age where I was responsible for all of that stuff, I kind of didn't know what I was doing good for. I don't know if that's like the right way to say it, but
no, I know exactly.
I kind of didn't know what the end game was. Like, what's my goal? Like, what am I getting out of this? Like, I've been doing good all my life, and I don't feel like I'm getting nothing good out of life back. And I work so hard, and I'm a good person, and I'm doing all this. I listen. I'm not doing drugs. I'm not doing alcohol. I'm not out here to set sex for everybody. Yeah, and I'm like, dang, like, why ain't nothing working out for me? So once I got to college, it was like, boom. So for one, I got introduced to weed because I went to college in Michigan. Like, but closer to Detroit. I went to college, like, my freshman year was at Henry Ford in Dearborn. That's like one of the ghetto colleges, which is a cool college, but it was one of the ghetto ones. I was surrounded by Detroit boys, and you know, Detroit boys, girls.
I know,
you know what I'm saying? So they rolling up every other minute, like, you trying to hit this, and at first I used to just be like, nah, I'm cool. And then one day I was like, F it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I might as well. You know, ain't nothing else working. I'm going through it as it is. I might as well. So I started smoking heavy. It got to a point where one day, like, I smoked before I had a game, and that's when I kind of started realizing I might have a problem. But what made it worse was that game. I had a great game. I had like 25, like 10 rebounds. Like, I went crazy. One of my close friends was like, "Man, you was out there balling." I was like,
isn't that crazy how you did the wrong things once in your life, and you're getting all the benefits?
After that game, I thought like, okay, I smoked before a game. Before the game, I was thinking like, why would I smoke before a game? But after the game, like, I might as well smoke before every game. If I'm getting a good turnout, right? I wasn't getting a good turnout before, so I might as well just keep smoking. And then like I had other stuff going on at home. I'm miles away. I'm still dealing with what's going on at home. I'm dealing with my family issues. I got school problems. I got financial problems. I needed to find a way to cope, and I didn't have a relationship with God. I didn't really have like. I was scared to be honest. Also with like the people I could talk to because I didn't want to feel judged. I didn't want to take the picture away, like you said, being perfect. I didn't want to take that away from myself. I wanted people to keep seeing me like that.
Right.
So I was scared to be like, I'm struggling with this,
Right.
or I got this going on. I started smoking. I started drinking. Like I didn't want people to know. And so I kept doing it like every weekend, every day. It starts to be every day. I leave class, I'm smoking. I leave practice, I'm smoking. On the weekends, I mean, like we had a kickback every weekend to the point where when we was getting ready to leave and pack up, me and my friend, like we saved all the empty bottles, right? We had like 3 totes full of empty liquor bottles, fifths of liquor. 3 totes full. We tried to take them. Her dad said, "I'm not taking that with me." Like,
That's actually crazy.
it was crazy. Like, and that just shows you like how bad it was. And to me, it started to feel normal because, like you said, everybody else was doing it. So I didn't feel like it was a problem. Like we in college, why not? We having fun. Like I made it. Why not? But once I got past college, like after my college career, and I was still doing it, I realized I'm doing this to cope.
Yeah.
I literally don't know how to cope. Yeah. Like I literally don't know how to deal with my
But at
emotions.
the time, you gotta survive though.
Yeah.
That's the thing that I've noticed. Like I would feel bad about how I was, but at that time, like you have to survive. You have to get up and get through the next day. So whatever you need to do to get up and get through that day, that's what you have to do. And I think the hardest part is forgiving yourself for how you acted at a time you didn't know no better. Yeah. Like so, it didn't mean to cut you off, but like
no,
I like
that's great. I'm glad you said that
about that, but like you can't feel bad.
Like even as an adult, although like I have a hard time forgiving myself. Like when I pray and ask God for forgiveness, He forgives me faster than I forgive myself. I beat myself up for it. Right. And I think that it's important that we, forgive ourselves, because if not, we just carry guilt and shame, and it kind of disconnect us from God because we start to feel like, oh, I'm not worthy, or that's not good. He probably not listening, or he probably tired of me doing this. Like, and I keep going back. But so I really didn't have God. Like I knew to pray, like you said. Like I knew to pray when I woke up, pray when I go to sleep.
That was a bare minimum, though.
It was bare minimum, and it was probably like 3 minutes. Results. It was probably like 3 minutes. I was brushing my teeth. I'm thinking in my head, I thank you for waking me up. Hope I have a good day, amen. Like, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't really nothing deeper while I was talking to him and being transparent with the way I felt. So I don't think I really handled stress great in college. And what I will say is that, like, for anybody listening, any college athletes, any athletes who are looking forward to going to college, you have to find a better way to cope than drugs and alcohol and sex too, because that's a big thing. You have to have God in your life, and also have people around you who care enough about you to notice when something is wrong, and be willing to talk about it. Don't be afraid or too prideful to say where you're struggling or where you're hurting at, how things feel to you, or where you need help. Even if it's like, I feel like I'm addicted to this, I need some type of help. Like, you have to be willing to be open enough to share that, even if it's just with God. Like, I feel like it's so important to have God if you're going to be able to manage the stress you're going to face in college, because the things around you will literally drag you and pull you into a darkness that will be harder to get out than you actually talking to somebody or praying. So handling stress in college, I wasn't really good at that. No. I'm happy that we are who we are today, so we can help other people not go through the same things we went through. So make sure y'all keep God in your life, man. Make sure y'all keep Him first. Make sure y'all praying. Make sure y'all got people around y'all who care about y'all and want y'all to do better, want to see y'all be great. So that being said, where do you think God covered you through college where you didn't notice until you got older?
Man, God had His hand on me my whole life.
What's one situation where you can?
I think one situation, I just thought about this the other day, because I was trying to find a situation, because getting older, a lot of things that we don't realize at the time when God says no, it's really Him saying yes to something else. So I have to reflect on all them times that I was probably mad something didn't work out, probably mad that this didn't happen. So I will say this is not even a basketball related issue. This is just one of my teammates. Okay. So I came home for my birthday. I think I was turning 21. That you trying to get lit.
For sure.
In your mind, you're like, 21.
Slap the ID on the counter.
I don't care about nothing else. 21. It's time to get active. It's time to get alive. So me and my teammates had came to Toledo to go out. Now, why did we do that? I don't know.
Right.
Because we was
in a better.
I don't know what. But I understand at the time I didn't really know how bad Toledo was.
Right.
I was very sheltered. I was very, very sheltered. So even like I said, God has me covered. Cause I've been in places where now I won't even drive over there. But I was in clubs in there. I was in apartments in there. I was in there at 18, 19. I see why my parents were stressed, because the fact that I was in there with these people is insane. Nothing ever happened to me. Right. Nothing ever happened to me. I never seen nobody get killed. I never seen no guns. I never seen nothing crazy. I never ever seen nothing crazy. So that alone That alone is the fact that I know God always had me. Because I was so oblivious that God had, He had to
keep His hands
because
on you.
I don't even want to talk about it. But anyways, a specific scenario that happened, I came home for my birthday, my 21st birthday. It was me and I think 4 of my teammates that came home. So we all, the whole week, talking about turning up, going to this club. I'm texting my friend, my old friend from, she went to Toledo, and we was texting about going out. She's getting her friends together, I'm getting my friends together. We get the dudes together, we get the bottles together, we get everything together. So we come home, we got the Big Ten tournament like in a couple of days. So we come home for this night, just to turn up this night, we gotta get back to business. We come home, stay at my grandparents' house. We get dressed. I get dressed, we go get in the car to go drive to the place. We go to my friend's house, we turn up, we drunk, whatever. I got a DD though, because the girl that was driving, I wasn't that crazy. Okay. So we had a DD, we're all drunk. We driving on the way to some bar. I don't even know what bar it was. Designated driver. Right. If you gonna drink, some people have a designated driver. They might be like, and that's one thing about it. I always play it safe with that. If you drinking, I'm taking you.
Oh, believe me, I know.
You ain't.
That's gonna tie into what I'm talking about.
Right. So we're on the way driving to some club. I don't know where the club's at. I know, but now I know we should have been there. At the time, I'm ready to go turn up, and now I know we should have been there. We driving. Do you know that my friend got a flat tire in my car? Flat. Had to take the tire off, replace it flat. So I'm irritated. Like
it's my birthday.
I'm mad at my friend. I'm not trying to make it seem like I'm mad at her because she already feel bad. Like she feels bad, but really I'm irritated. Like all my friends is here. We all home. We're all going on the way to this club, whatever. I think my dad and my grandpa had to come pick us up. My friend went home, whatever. I'm irritated, I'm mad. And till probably a couple days ago, I still held on to that anger of that night. I was so mad, really upset about that till probably a couple days ago. It's not like I was still upset. It's like, when you think back at your past and you think like I was mad at this moment. Think about it now. I'm going over it. I'm like, imagine 5 Michigan athletes at a bar in Toledo. Imagine that look.
People gonna know.
That's insane.
Yeah.
So
just on her out last night.
That's crazy.
And then you know
what I'm saying? And it's like how Toledo is. You never know what could have happened that night. Like you don't know who could have been in there. You don't know because people crazy. So I was really like mad about that. So we ended up just going home. I think we went to like Waffle House or something.
I like Waffle House.
I like Waffle House. At the time,
for me for my birthday.
It was crazy at the time. I tried to be mad because I wanted to go out, but at that time I was like I didn't really want to. I didn't want to go anyway. Yeah. You know what I mean? So at that moment, like I don't know what happened that night at the bar, if anything did happen, but I just know now I'm happy that we did not go because I don't even know somewhere we should have been.
I say if you know the name, I'm sure I could have told you.
I don't even know. We should. I know all I know was going down Seaport. Yeah. That's all I know.
Because I used to stay in the truth line.
I went to one time.
But I used to be there every weekend.
Every Sunday? True Sunday?
Every Sunday.
That's not cool.
Sick.
That's not
drinking
cool.
Blue MFs.
That's not cool.
Drunk. Looking a mess. Acting a fool.
See, that's crazy.
That's my whole life.
It's okay though, because you're
delivered.
You're delivered.
You know what I'm saying?
You're saved.
Delivered.
You're saved. But yeah, that's my story. Like I said, nothing crazy happened, but that's just not. I would have felt so bad putting my friend in harm's way. Because like at the time I didn't know, but now I've been like, I'm happy we didn't go because that's insane. But you can go on with your story.
Well, see, my story is kind of like same thing, car situation, but just way different.
Right.
Like, but so my second year. Well, actually, like I said in the first episode, I had to take a year off to go back to school. So the year I went back to school, to that school in Missouri. Like I said, it was 10 hours away. I'm the only black girl on campus, right? So I'm frustrated. So I think we was like getting towards mid-season, winter break coming. But this was the like higher division schools, like Big D2 you go. And we were supposed to go to Florida. So I wasn't gonna have a winter break. Like I was supposed to go to Florida for a tournament. So we was at practice like 3 days before we were supposed to leave, before break started. And I was still super close to my friend. I'm not gonna say her name because but we were real close, and I spent like every single day with her for like 2 years straight. We went to my freshman year of college. We was in school together, and then like we both took that year. We was off, and then like we was spending every single day together. But we was spending every single day together, like drinking.
Right.
So imagine if I came to pick you up every day, and I had a fifth, not a pint, a fifth of Hennessy every time I picked you up, and we finished it. And then we would probably get another one later that day.
I'll still be drunk today.
Like so, we was doing that every day. including smoking,
Mm-hmm.
right? Now I don't know how we was doing this, but we was also working out throughout this whole thing, which
When
is
you're young, you
crazy,
look different,
right?
You look different.
But we was drinking every day, and when we were doing it, I wasn't really like aware, like I didn't think we had a problem, right? But it came to a point where I started to feel like she had a problem. But when you that age, you don't want to tell your friend like, I think you got a problem. Like you don't want to say that because you like we young.
Right.
Like if she is drinking wine, who cares?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We young, we can drink.
Nothing happened to us.
You know what I'm saying? Nothing got to happen. So I'm away. We still talking every day, and I'm in the middle of practice, and I don't know why this practice. I so happen to have my phone. They used to let us listen to music while we lift. But I didn't really care to listen to music all the time.
We weren't allowed to do that.
Yeah, but this day, I was like, I'm going to listen to some music. Why not? I get a call while we in the weight room. And it's this person's girlfriend. And they like, oh, such has got in a car accident. Have you heard from her? I'm like, I'm at practice. I haven't talked to her in a couple hours. Like, what you mean she got in an accident? Now, mind you, this is the middle of the day. Like, I want to say in Toledo, it must have been like 2 or 3 in the afternoon. And like, yeah, she's got in an accident, it was bad, I was trying to call you because I thought maybe you talked to her, I'm trying to make sure she's safe, she alive, blah, blah, I'm like, I haven't talked to her, I'm gonna call her. So I'm panicking at this point, so I'm telling my coach, like, I gotta take this, like, I gotta, walk out real quick, so, I'm calling everybody, nobody answering, I get to panicking more,
Right.
So, I'm like, okay, I put my phone down, I'm like, maybe she cool, she gonna call me, so like 20 minutes later, I get a call. And it's not even from her, it's from her mom. So her mom calls me and she like, Taylor, I need you to listen. I'm like, what's wrong? Like, what's wrong? She's like, I just need you to listen. I need you to listen to me carefully. I'm like, what happened? I'm like, I heard an accident. What happened? I heard she's got an accident. Is she okay? And she like, she's not okay. I'm like, what's wrong? What's wrong? I'm thinking like she died or she injured bad or something like that. She like, 2 people died. So I'm thinking she one of them. I'm like, what? She like, she killed 2 people in a car crash. They collided head on, and 2 people passed away. Her car caught on fire. They had to pull her out of her car. She's in the hospital right now. She's going to call you. I know she's gonna call you. When she calls you, I need you to not tell her this information. I know that she don't. She in the hospital. I don't want her to start acting crazy. She like, I don't know if the police gonna come get her from the hospital or if we're gonna be able to go home. So when she call you, I need you to still be calm. Because you know how your friend is, she gonna be laughing about this, blah, blah, blah. She don't know. So I'm like, okay. I literally broke down crying when she hung up because
You already knew.
I knew like something bad is about to come from this. Like something bad already came from it, but like I know this is about to change my friend's life. It's about to change my life. This is my friend I spend every single day with. And she called me, and when she called me, she was so like, she laughing. She got a neck brace on. She FaceTimed me like, why ain't my dumb self just getting an accident? And
she not know that.
She don't know. She don't know. So my dumb self just got an accident. I'm cool. I got this neck brace on. You see me, bro? Like, immediately I had to laugh because I can't tell her what I know. So I'm like, bro, you crazy? Like, is you good? Yeah, I'm cool. I'm walking on. I got a few scratches, but I'm good. The car tore up though. I done tore the car up. We can't get drunk in that car no more. It's gone. We gonna have to get another one. She like, I'm still drunk. So I'm like, in my mind, I'm thinking like, bro, like, but I had to be the old me. So I'm like, you crazy? Like, you need to stop doing it. Like, why is you even drunk in the middle of the day? Like, why is you drinking like that? So she like, man, I'm cool. It's cool. So moral of that story is, my friend ended up getting sentenced. She was facing 30 years. She ended up getting sentenced for 12. And throughout that process, it was very emotionally heavy for me. It was hard to transition from talking to her every day, seeing her every day, to me not being able to talk to her like she called me. I can't go vent to her. I can't kick her. I can't do nothing. And when she was going through the process, the trial took like a year. So she made all of us like vow to stop drinking because she had to stop. She had to do drug tests, So we all stopped drinking, and it kind of like drove a wedge between us. But also in that moment, like now that I'm older, I realized God was covering me by sending me to that college where I couldn't play. I had the red shirt. I was the only black girl on campus. I was ready to come home as soon as I found out I couldn't play. And I know that I would have been with her that day. Like, I know it. Everybody around me knew it too. They always like, we know if you was here, you would have been in the car, right? And I don't know if I would have survived. I don't know what would have happened. Like, I don't know where I would have been if I was there. And I was so angry that I wasn't there. Like, when it first happened, I was so mad I wasn't there because I'm thinking I could prevent it, right? But now that I'm older, I realize, like, I wasn't there because that wasn't the plan God had for me.
Right.
And it was the plan God had for her in order to, because I feel like if that never happened, she would have never stopped drinking. She would have just got worse and worse and worse. And we wasn't correcting her. We wasn't being, I could say I wasn't being a friend that I should have been, like, telling her, like, you need to slow down. And now she served her time. She been there for, I want to say, 7 years. And we talk about God on the phone. I talk to her. I pray for her, all that. Now I realize God was covering me. And I'm so thankful for him, for one, him teaching me a lesson through her, him giving her a chance to be able to sit with him, and him also giving me a chance to be restored and renewed and give me a chance to separate myself kind of from that life, because I say this often, and it's no disrespect to her or our friendship, but I feel like if she was still around and we was still close, I wouldn't be this person. I'd probably still be somewhere drunk, right? Because neither of us was holding each other accountable. Right. Because I was doing stuff she should have told me about too. Right. I wasn't perfect, you know. But he was covering me, and I'm so thankful and grateful, and I'm thankful and grateful that even though she in there, she's still in her right mind. Right. She doing good. I talk to her, and I love her to death, and I pray that God continue to keep his hand on her and she get through that and have her testimony, you know, when she get out too. So. Yeah, that's that. I'm gonna wrap that up because I don't want to get emotional. Because I don't want to start crying or something because I love my friend. I miss her so much. The last question, right? What do you wish you could have done differently if you knew what you knew now? And what advice do you have for current college athletes who face trials and tribulations?
Just one thing. I got.
Just sum it up.
I got a lot of things, but ultimately, I just wish. I talk about it now because I can always say, like, I wish this would have gone differently. I wish I went to a different college. I wish I would have knew different people. But at the end of the day, life don't happen no matter where you at. You see, we was in two totally different places. Right. I had not similar, but heartbreaking experiences. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, we met people that broke our heart. We had friends that broke our heart. We had relationships that broke our heart. The basketball broke our heart. It broke. I'm still recovering. Like, I'm still. So I would just say, I say to this day, is I wish that I would have taken my circumstances and been more positive. I think I spent too much time complaining, focused on the negatives. I was at the University of Michigan. I remember I was in the Virgin Islands, depressed, like mad that I was there, like pissed. I'm on a free trip
to see some beautiful water.
I'm on a free trip to
ain't paying for nothing.
Ain't paying for no food.
Ain't mad.
And I'm pissed.
Crazy.
Walking around the island, mad. Like, I hate being. I want to go home. Like, I'm in Italy, looking at the Coliseum. Like, I'm ready to go home, bro. Like, I don't want to be here. Like,
people will wish that.
And people will wish. And it's like I should have just been more positive. I wish I would have just not allowed what I was going through to dictate my emotions and dictate how I would look life. Like, I would just go to class and go to practice. That's all I would do. And then get drunk. Like, what type of life is that? I wish I had just been more grateful, been more positive. I was definitely influential, and I was definitely like a good friend to people. And I will say I will not take that away from me. It's like I was still a good person at the end of the day. But I just wish that I was able to just look
be
better
to yourself,
be better to myself, and take care of myself like I was taking care of everybody else around me. I was there. I would be there for my friend at the drop of a hat. But let me need something. I'm fine. I don't need this. I don't need therapy. I don't need to do this. I don't need to do this. So I just wish I would have taken better care of myself, been more positive, and obviously been closer to God. I wish I would have talked to God more, because a lot of the things that I was going through, had I just went to God and trusted Him, stuff could have turned out very much differently. Maybe I could have been in the league right now. Maybe I could have had a successful career. You know,
you decided not to.
You know,
don't never do that to yourself.
Yeah, talk about that. We're not gonna do it.
You decided that,
but I didn't decide that. He decided.
Yeah.
He decided.
He told you to put it down.
He told me to put it down.
But let's be clear. You could have went to.
I could. I definitely could.
Sure.
The advice I would give for the next athlete would just be trust God, trust your calling, trust Trust the process. I feel like we always say trust the process. We don't know what it means, because though I have been through a lot of things in my life, it's shaped me into the person that I am today, and it's shaped me into being around the type of people that I'm now around. So just trust God and go to God. When you're struggling, go to Him. Like, ask Him what's going on. Pray to Him. Read the Bible. I didn't start reading the Bible until probably like maybe 2 years ago. I started actually reading the Bible. I've just now been more consistent with it. So get in that Bible. If you don't understand it, go on YouTube. If you don't understand it, go on TikTok. They explain it to you.
They actually got a new Bible for the kids, the Gen Z Bible.
Yes.
Y'all don't got no excuses no more.
I need to get that.
Get in there and read that Bible.
Right. And I would also say just go to therapy. If at the end of the day, what you're doing, you're trying to go to God, because going to God ain't easy. I'm not going to say it's an easy path. It's not easy. Sometimes you need some earthly guidance, earthly assistance. Yeah. Find therapy, seek therapy, go to therapy, because therapy helped me. Therapy helped me just express my problems and realize that, okay, I am struggling with something. There is something wrong with me. Like, I do need to work these things out. And then I went to God. I didn't just stick with therapy. You can't just stick with therapy. Yeah. At the end of the day, a therapist can't help you with everything. Right. So go to therapy, seek God, and just trust Him. That's the advice that I would have for the next generation.
Something I would do differently if I knew what I knew now. I would give myself more credit.
I like that one.
For where I was.
I like that one.
I complained so much about where I was and what was going on around me because I always wanted more. I was never satisfied or content with what I had going on. Never lived in the moment. Never enjoyed where I was because I was always wanting to be somewhere else.
Kept raising the bar.
And I never gave myself credit or grace for all the work that I had already done. So that's what I would say. I would say stop feeling like where you are is not where you're supposed to be. As a college athlete, wherever you are, not even just as a college athlete, as a person, wherever you are, whatever you're doing is exactly what God has you for a reason, and He's intentional. Don't complain. Be content with where God has you, and keep putting the work in. Have faith, but put the work in, because faith without work means nothing, right? It's dead. So that's one thing, and I would also, like you said, wish I had God.
You had Him.
I had Him.
But you gotta talk to Him.
He didn't have me. I'll say that. He sure didn't have me. For sure. Never had me in chokehold. I'll say that.
It's okay.
But God had His hand on me.
Yes.
I just wasn't giving myself to Him.
Yeah.
I definitely wish I was giving myself to God when I was in college. The advice I would give is the same you gave. Keep God first. Keep your faith first. Stay strong in your faith, no matter what's going on, no matter how bad it look. No matter how bad you feel, things gonna get bad for you. Everybody goes through something. It might not be the same thing you go through, but everybody goes through something. You have to trust the process. Like AK said, you have to trust the process. You have to trust that God, what He is doing with you and in you and through you is the exact thing that needs to be going on. His way is perfect, not ours. So just trust God. Put in work. Work hard as you can each and every day. Don't get tired of doing good. Don't get tired of it. Your blessing gonna come. So that's what I would say, and that kind of wraps up our episode. But before we go, like I said in the first episode, we'll be debuting people from our city and just people, athletes, whoever who doing music, gospel music, because I know as athletes in Christ, y'all gotta find some type of music for y'all playlist before the game, because I know y'all can't keep listening to Future and Drake and all that because they talking crazy. Shout out to them though, no disrespect. If you turn up to them, that's great. But we got a special artist from Toledo. She now is in, I believe it's Houston. But Martina Marie just dropped her song. Shout out to her. I believe the song is called I Choose You by Martina Marie. She also has a EP coming out on the 10th. But the song, her single I Choose You is out now. I believe it's on all platforms. We're going to throw a snippet in there for y'all to hear. Make sure y'all go tune into that. And thank y'all for joining us on this episode. We're going to pray it out. And we will see y'all next time. Lord, thank you so much for getting us through this episode. It was a rough day. It was a rough time. But we didn't give up. We got our strength from you. We thank you so much. I ask that you let these words reach the ears that it's supposed to reach. Let it touch the hearts that it's supposed to touch. And continue to do the work in us and through us that you need to, so that your word will get out and that we will create more disciples. We thank you, we honor you, we praise you, and all you. We ask you all these things in your son's name, Jesus Christ. Thank you, God, and amen.
Amen.
All right, peace out.
They ask me why.